It's hard to do now on social media because I'm getting so banned. It's like mind blowing. I already lost my Instagram about 3 months ago, and I had almost 400,000 followers.
What was it? What kind of post?
Just the truth. It was the truth, and they didn't like that. You know, I was saying the truth. Once again, man, I got to be honest to myself. I got to look in the mirror and I got to be responsible for the words I say. And if I don't do it, I look like an asshole. I look like someone just talking shit and I'm a conspiracy theorist or whatever. You know what? I'm a spoiler alert now because everything is coming true. It's crazy. When I was on city council in Huntington Beach, I got the most votes in Huntington Beach history. I was mayor pro tem. And in my swearing in, I said, this pandemic that we're dealing with, hopefully we can get through it. And the mayor at the time, she's like, oh my God, I can't believe you said that. It's like, what is it now?
Yeah. Now, what was it like being part of the council there? Did you have
It was horrible. It was the worst thing I've ever done in my life.
Were your hands tied? Were your hands tied? Like, what was it like?
Not even the factor of my hands being tied. It was a factor that them running through me the coals, man. It was just brutal. They were saying shit that was not even close to being true. It was just CNN, ABC, NBC, CBS, LA Times, Register. They're writing stories left and right that Tito's not wearing a mask. He's too cool to wear a mask. All these people's lives are in danger. I'm like, okay. So when this first came about, I complied. I did the first 3 weeks wearing the mask.
You actually showed up here wearing a mask when you pulled up in the limo.
Fuck off. I can't lie, bro.
He made us disinfect.
He did.
Oh, hell, man. I just go after Vegas, and every guy I walk by with a mask, I look, I go, hey, Tito, what's up? I go, they got you believing that bullshit too? Okay, so my son's there in school for a month, I think, and one of the days, Jessica a little white, and I'm like, dude, you're right. He's like, Dad, I've had a headache for the last 2 days. I go, from what? He goes, wearing this damn mask. I'm like, all right, you're done. So we did a religious exempt. They went to school. They did the whole spiel, word for word. Principal comes in, they made it through the first period. Second period comes, they go to the principal's office and they give the whole spiel to the principal. Principal calls me and says, Mr. Ortiz, you're an amazing father. Your kids are very, very articulate, very intelligent, but we got to have them to wear a mask. I go, I'm sorry, I can't do it. I go, we'll go back to Zoom. They've been homeschooled since.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I end up doing homeschool, and I come to a situation now that is just, it's mind-blowing because people are so, it's a PSYOP mission that right now is what's happening. People can't see it because they trust the government more than they trust common sense. It's common sense.
King Croc's loving this over here.
I mean, this has happened before, right? I mean, it's kind of a repeat of history.
People don't remember history. They cancel it out of schools, right?
They
cancel everything out of schools. They don't want to teach people what happened before. They're going to think it's all a money scam. It's all a money grab. I hope I don't get your guys' stuff taken down. But you know what? There's so many doctors that I know that are friends that are higher up doctors. They're like, Tito, check this out. Look at it. I'm not telling you something. Just look at this. And I've done my research. I've understood. Like I said, I haven't had COVID this whole time. I've had the flu twice.
Can I ask you a question, Mr. Ortiz? So, with a lot of the things that you're saying, right, do you feel like at this point you're a dissident to the administration that runs the United States?
I don't compare myself to those people because they're monsters. They're destroying this country. And there's so many of my friends that have put their lives on the line to defend this country, defend our rights, defend, the things that our forefathers fought for. And they're talking about history. But I've always known to love this country because I've traveled the world. I've been to everywhere. Yeah, everywhere but Russia is the only place I've never been.
Wow.
I've been to everywhere, and every time I came back home, I was very, very thankful to come back to the United States. The freedoms we have here, people don't understand how other countries are. Cuba, China, South Korea, or North Korea. Which one? I think it's North Korea.
North is worse.
I have a different opinion on that. I'm trying to lose some weight. I actually prefer North Korea.
But once again, the things here. But this has been an agenda that's been pushed 40 years ago. This is something they've been pushing, they've been building. What they are is weakening America. By this whole sexual identity bullshit, you're weakening America. In the military, they have yellow cards now. There's someone who's serving in the military and you feel like you're getting harassed too much, you lift your yellow card and you could take a timeout. What the fuck is that?
Have you seen Full Metal Jacket? Imagine showing that to that drill sergeant.
Oh my God.
Yellow card.
Well, no, let's just go ahead and go back to 2004, 2005 with Dave Chappelle. Remember the Wiggers? The things that he would say, the racism stuff he would say would never even live right now.
No, not at all.
But it was a joke.
Right.
I mean, it's a joke for comedy.
Comedy,
One of the best guys that I've seen, and I know he's on the opposite side, is Morgan Freeman. And they asked him, he says, how do you get rid of racism? He goes, easy. I'm not disabled for what I do. Look what I'm making at. And I think it was a guy from CNN. What's the guy from CNN? The guy everyone hates? Lemon. Lemon.
Don Lemon.
Don Lemon. He goes, look at your job. I'm African-American. You're African-American. We don't have anything holding us back. I know what's holding us back is people talking about it. You want to get rid of racism? Stop talking about it. And the idea, I say this because my children are in 5th grade. What was it? It's been 4 years ago. They didn't know what a black guy was. They come up to me. They go, Dad, we met this brown kid. He's the coolest kid ever. I was like, all right, cool. I'll meet him.
He tried to sell us crack.
No, stop. That's wrong. I'm going to punch this guy in his face. Right?
That was for King Croc.
No, but it's crazy because when I showed him, he was like, yeah, it's my friend's Tyrone. I was like, it made me proud. No, it made me proud that, because we don't talk about a person's color at all. What we talk about is character.
Yeah.
Is a pace. The way you represent yourself is who you are.
Content
Plain
of your
and simple.
character. Yeah.
Well, the content of your character, 100%. And that's what I've always been on. I mean, when I lived in Huntington Beach from birth until 7, I was the wetback. I was the beaner. I was the border jumper. I moved to Santa Ana. All of a sudden now I'm the honky. I'm the white kid. I moved back to Huntington Beach and I was just Tito Ortiz. When I got into city council, I was the white supremacist.
Jesus.
I'm
a white supremacist. I'm like, you know my name's Tito Ortiz, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know I have French, I have Mexican, I have Native American, I have African American from, was it Cameroon?
You looked a little Chinese to me during your early fights.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, that's probably the Portuguese. I have Portuguese in me also.
Yeah, it's ridiculous what they do. They were calling Larry Elder the black face of white supremacy when he tried to unseat Governor Gavin Newsom.
It's just they're giving an excuse and a label on people because they don't want the truth to be told out there. And it's just, right now is the worst time in our history of America ever that I've seen it like this because so many people comply. And the biggest test of that was COVID. When COVID came around and people didn't want to do the research, they just wanted to go in and listen to what mainstream media was saying. And that's what they believed. And then all of a sudden, everything that Trump said, and once again, I've worked for Trump before he was even thought of a president. I fought for him, not for him, I fought at his casino back in 2001. I got to see him as a father. I seen him as a businessman. I seen him as a patriot of our country. And when he ran because he seen how dirty the deep state truly is. And he tried to help for the future of our country, of his children and his grandchildren. And that's the same thing I try to do in Huntington Beach. I just try to help. Being one of 7 on city council, I wasn't a part of the agenda and I was being canceled. Lies are being told about me. I mean, there was a time there was a Christmas and I was going to the poorer neighborhood in Huntington Beach and I bought turkeys, hams, and Thanksgiving dinner stuff. And I went to go give it, and there's a guy yelling with a microphone saying, Tito, where's your mask? I'm like, I'm outside, you fucking asshole. And he's telling the people in Spanish that I poisoned the food. I put COVID in the food. And these are families like Mexican families that are barely making it. This is the end of COVID, or not end, but this is like 2020, right, Thanksgiving time. And ladies coming up to crying with tears in their eyes saying, muchas gracias por comer, Tito. Like, thank you very much for the food. I appreciate it.
But then you took the lid off the cooler of bats.
Yeah. No, I try to be funny about things. No, but this is serious shit that I try to help my city, man. I try to do something and try to enlighten what's going on. And it was just the manufacturing of what mainstream media is pushing. They're just brainwashing people. And I feel sorry for them because they don't know any better. It's been 30 years now that they've been through school that, the teachers or other constituents that are around have really blinded them on a blind side of what's truly happening right now in our country. And it's scary, man. But I see the big picture, 1997, 2017, when, who was it? What's his name? Bill Gates talked on TED about depopulizing the world. I'm not saying it's happening now, but that shit is true. But let me tell you, common sense can get you far away if you really pay attention to the details. It's a little sketchy, but like I say, man, we're here having fun. It's important. Hopefully the listeners, take everything with a grain of salt. Like I say, don't believe what I tell you. Research what I tell you, and then you come up with your own answers.
Now, have you thought about getting out of here with your kids? I mean, I'm
on the midst right now. I'm just sold my mother's home. I'm in the midst of selling my home in the harbor, Huntington Harbor. So anybody who wants to buy a house, $5.5 million. It's 4,000 square feet. I have was it 60-foot dock behind the house on the
Damn.
water. It's the only island that has a castle on that island, and that castle's mine.
Damn.
So I'm selling it.
dude.
I'm going to Florida. I'm out.
On Florida, all right.
Yeah, I want my kids to be around people that love America.
Mm-hmm.
Here, everybody hates America because they never travel outside the country. When they travel outside the country, they come back and they go, wow, maybe Tito was right. No, I guarantee you I'm right.
Hey, we went to TJ. We dropped off some stuff for some refugees in TJ for a video, and
Awesome.
we almost died. I think we were probably going to end up in some acid somewhere, but we got away. We jogged away. But yeah, it was frightening.
We've been there for an hour.
Yeah, we had been there for an hour, and these guys kind of accosted us, and were trying to surround us. And I'm sure somebody was going to pull out a gun next, and we had it. Yeah, that's pretty wild.
That just made us appreciate how great America is.